To the topic of the discussion and hit the issues you typically find reluctant. Remove the facade to fill the gap with some substance. We undermining problems, expecting to overcome it. Please hold the applause. We doing it for the cause. People follow culture before they follow the laws. We rather face the friction and not attempt it at all. Persistence will find solutions once our contentment dissolves. There's a hard pill to swallow for anyone breathing, both for folks who stay woke and those who be dreaming. We ain't slaves, yet we still ain't experienced freedom. What we need is the keys to access the kingdom. We're all in this fallen world trying to stay intact. I'm just a beggar, point you out to where the bread is at. So follow the breadcrumbs like Hansel and Gretel, and thank Yogi Bear and the thought engineer for that on Talk Monday. It's Man Talk Monday.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How y'all doing tonight? This is Man Talk Monday. Hey, they not ready. They ain't ready. We ready.
Dude, I wasn't ready. Boy. Like,
oh man. Saw this video. Fam, you did this. They did this Let's Go song. Man, it was so clean.
Oh, really?
If anybody has a band head, you got to go find that video because, oh my goodness, they killed that song. But yeah, man, feeling good tonight, man.
Yeah, I can tell. Yeah, me too, man. It's had a great weekend, man. I'm ready to get back into things, man. Had a couple of birthdays. See, when you get older, you just put your birthday stuff on the calendars. Yeah, we had one on Friday that we had to go to. We had another one on Saturday. Yeah, and both of them really nice. But the one on Friday, the Anatole experience was really nice.
Shout out to Latasha Davis.
Yes, the big 4'9"
for the birthday. And
the big 4'9",
and also
my brother Malik Ali turned the big 5-0 on Saturday. Was that? It's big 5-0. Yeah.
Oh wow.
It was a big 5-0, man. Yeah. Yes.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday, guys. Happy birthday.
We don't have a happy birthday song for y'all, but y'all know we love y'all. You know.
Yeah. But the craziest thing about birthdays is when you're out in the restaurant. So, for example, we were up on the 15th floor at the Anatole. Yeah. And you walk through the restaurant and you're looking at the couples. Yeah. And you're looking at them and you're trying to figure out what date they on, if they married, if they, you're trying to figure. Yeah. You're trying to figure out, more importantly, if they're gonna last.
Well, first off, because the restaurant was a nice steak restaurant.
It was.
So if this is the first date, you setting the bar pretty high, brother.
Yeah, that's right. It's because we didn't see the bill. I didn't think about money because I normally think about the money part of it. Yes, you're right.
Oh my goodness, right. You setting the bar super.
Yeah, that's true.
Super high.
That's true. They had a free range chicken on there that was that we had to have some explaining about.
The chicken got pampered and massaged and everything, and they didn't treated that chicken real well. Huh?
They let it walk around the yard.
Don't you scare that chicken.
It was a good time though. I had a really good time. The food was really good, man. The food was really good on Friday and Saturday. Me and my wife, it's funny when you live out and when you live out where we live, having to come back into the city a couple of times a week, man, it's crazy. Man, just gas up the pacer, man, and get on over there, man.
Yeah, man. The funny thing to me, like you said, you see couples in there, and it's me and my wife have this habit. when we see couples in a restaurant, we sit down, we look at them and try to figure out scenarios. What's the scenario with them? How long have they been together? Based on how they sitting, based on the interaction. If they locked eyes and they sitting on the same side of the table and all of this, we like, oh yeah, they knew. They knew.
That's new love right there.
Still got that new smell on it.
Yeah. There's new love right there. Well, that's an expensive date too.
Right. Oh my goodness. The younger people will not talk to each other. They're on their phones the whole time.
Oh, really?
We went to this one restaurant, and I swear, this young man, this young lady sat at the table, and it must have been around prom time or something, because they were dressed nice. You can tell they were in high school. And I don't even think they said 2 words to each other.
They don't know no better. They don't know. They were probably talking to each other on their phone. Man,
it's crazy.
They don't know no better, man. Bless their heart. They don't know no better.
Crazy. What's up, Miss Sally Battle? My friend Afia. They say, hey guys, new backdrop. Who this? Hey, y'all think we playing with y'all? We're not playing with y'all.
We're not playing.
We trying to bring y'all quality. Abigail says, absolutely. Hi, man. Y'all were coming in. I got to get the energy up.
Yes, sir.
Need more energy.
You scared me.
More energy. She said, give me some of that.
For real.
Send it your way. Send it your way tonight. Absolutely.
Well, you want to get into it? You ready to get into it tonight? We have a great show planned for you guys tonight, and we have some new way we're gonna do some things, man. So I'm looking forward to that. And listen, we are embarking. Is that did I say that right? Did I say that right? Nah. See, whenever you go off topic, you're like, oh my God, did he gonna say something? Okay. So
the word is embarking.
Yes, we are embarking.
Monique killing herself laughing at you right now.
Go ahead, Dale. I'll let you talk.
No, listen, over the next few weeks, months, we're gonna be trying new stuff and everything, trying to make this thing that much better. And we know we got our people who love to come on and listen to us. But we want y'all to shoot us an email. Let us know what y'all really think.
Yeah, be honest.
What y'all think about what we're saying. Think about the look. We need y'all feedback because, you know what I'm saying, that's how you get better. You know what I'm saying? Your favorite restaurant that had a card that they give you, the customer satisfaction card. We need that filled out and sent to us. Just shoot us an email. The email is at the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. Just shoot us something. Let us know how we doing. Let us know what you like and also what you don't like. Trust me, we can take it. We can take it.
D can take it. I can't take it. I'm gonna tell you right now. You say something,
I'll read them. I'll read them and then I'll dress them up and give them to him.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Because I'm gonna cut you out. I'm gonna cut you slap out. But I guess with that being said, I guess we're ready to get started with the show.
Man.
We got a pretty heavy one tonight, right?
When we put the title out, when we said the title, we got a reaction. It was like, whoa. I said, that must be it right there then. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about I chose wrong, so now what? I chose wrong, so now what? I'm mainly talking about feeling stuck in marriage and relationships. Feeling stuck in marriage and relationships. There are people who are feeling regret, feeling remorse, feeling like, oh Lord Jesus, what I get myself into. They done got married, they done got involved with somebody. And listen, when you get in there, it get real. It get really real. And some people feel stuck. How do you get stuck? Because we know marriage, you go and you make a commitment, you stand before it.
Where you get
pastor and everything.
Where you get stuck when you don't spend enough time on the front end. when you worry too much about the wedding and the wedding night or where you're gonna get wedding or what you're gonna wear, you got that thing has to be distributed equally. Because if you spend too much time on that front end, the back end is gonna suffer. And the back end mean your behind is gonna have to suffer through a marriage that you're not happy with.
And this is what you have, and you got people. Say you got one spouse who is a homebody. You know, you got the kids, you want to stay at home, you want to spend family time. But that other spouse, the streets are calling. Like every time you turn around, I'm going hang out. I'm going, you know what I'm saying?
But the streets didn't just start calling. Let me paint. Can I paint the scenario? Can I paint it?
Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead. It's on you.
Because you know how you be. You know how ladies and guys, when we're in the clubs, we're going out, we're trying to meet somebody. Because normally we go through a period of, well, girl, I'm tired of being by myself. And guys like, hey, man, it's time for you to get you a girl. All right, so we go to the club, lights kind of tinted. It's nice. You got your smell good on. You got your jacket, your blazer. Brother, you looking like $1 million. You're looking for that chick that looks like she's ready to be your dime piece for the night. So when you get to the club, she's over in the corner with her girls, and the baddies, they're in packs. They're not by themselves. They're in packs just like you with your boys, right?
Like sodas.
Yeah. So you gotta these on one day. So the baddie's in packs. So you see him, he sees you. Now, immediately when he sees her, he's looking at it and he likes what he sees. You look at him, he's not as quite as tall as you want him to be, but he looks like he got it going on. Because what the first thing women do, they look at you and they look at your shoes. They're trying to see if your shoes is run down. If your shoes ain't run down and they kept up, she's like, well, yeah, he's not as tall as I would like, but I might can do this. You come over, y'all start a conversation. Conversation goes well. After conversation goes well, she hears a red flag. But he's really cute, man, and he sounds like he got it going on. So they start dating. While they're dating, a couple of more red flags come up, but she's like, no, this thing is going just like I wanted to go. I plan on being married by the time I'm 32. This guy seems like he is the guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They get married. Well, back it up.
Okay.
He hit that.
Uh-oh.
He hit that and he split that, then he quit that.
Then he commit that.
Yes.
He commit
that because once he hits it, now she has a commitment to get him to the altar because she don't want to feel like she just giving up booty to anybody. So now I got to look over way more than I wanted to originally because I got to get this particular dude to the altar because I don't want to look like no hoe.
Yeah.
Right. So now the guy, about this time, the guy starts pulling back because he might not necessarily be ready for marriage. Mm-hmm. Well, you overlook that because I got to get you to the altar. Because remember, I was with my friends and they saw me with you and they've been asking me about you. And I'm saying, girl, we about to get married. He about to pop the question any day. Any day don't come.
Rule number 1, shut your mouth about the people you meet until you sure about them.
The ring don't come. Now you getting flustered. Now you got to turn up the heat on him and start doing stuff and compromising things that you necessarily wouldn't have to get him to the altar.
Pressure cooker, bro.
Yes.
Pressure cooker.
You hook him up to a tow truck, drag him to the altar. He gets to the altar. He says, I do. If you just stop being all over me about it, y'all get me.
He don't even say I do. He say, oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. She got me here. She got me here. Can you unhook me to the tow truck? They get married. They be married for a couple of years. During the honeymoon period, which is the first year, she gets pregnant, have a couple of kids. She gets pregnant, have kids.
Right.
She's happy. The marriage is officially beginning. Mm-hmm. Now, there is a debt to be paid to the marriage. There is a debt to be paid to the marriage. There is a debt to be paid to the marriage. There is a time that we start paying the debt.
Well, the collector's calling. The collectors are calling.
Because you have to start dealing with some of the issues and things that we're going through in the dating period that we just skipped and hopscotched over.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the worst time to deal with it, which is why we say, like, how do people get stuck in relationship? Because before you get married is typically, say, the best time to get divorced is before you get married. But why are so many people still getting that far down the line? Afia says, I love that principle. Make it private until you know it's permanent.
Yeah, but you can't, because we don't do nothing in private no more. We don't do nothing in private.
That was social media.
Everything is social media. Right. I got a man, I got a husband, I got me somebody, girl, and he loved me.
Right. Change your status, all that type of stuff.
And then when he gone, we just don't say nothing about it. Yeah. We just don't say nothing about it. Yeah. So how we gonna deal with the red flag? How we deal with the red flags? Let's talk about the red flags. What are red flags, Mr. Man?
Well, you got some general red flags. General red flags is somebody's abusive, whether either verbally or physically. They're uncompromising at all.
Oh, that's a big one. Bruh, uncompromising is a big one.
Serious.
That is a big one.
When you consider the role compromise plays in a marriage, somebody who's uncompromising,
because marriage is all about compromising.
Boy, and this is the thing. This is the thing that people fail to realize. And talking about red flags, I heard this guy say this a couple of days ago. Hit me like a ton of bricks. He says we only give rules to the people we don't like.
The one that we don't really want to be with.
Right. We give rules to the people we don't like. I remember one of my nieces. She would call me and have me talk to her little boyfriend. And I finally figured out she had me do this when she wanted to get rid of him.
Because the ones that she really liked, you weren't gonna know nothing about.
Oh, the ones that she wants.
You're not gonna know nothing about.
No, didn't even talk to him.
You don't know nothing about him. You're not gonna know anything about him. Because I want to keep him, and I don't want you to mess this up for me.
So here's a huge red flag for you. Beware of the person who makes you give up all the rules that you said you was gonna have going in. That person is dangerous for you.
Well, see, but the crazy thing about it, D, is we talk about red flags. Now, we're not talking about the stuff that you have on your list that you want. We're not talking about that stuff, because that's just most of that stuff is just crazy talk. But what we're doing that actually now is we're talking about things that will prohibit you from being in a lasting relationship with these people. Those are red flags. That's what we call red flags. We're not talking about how tall he is, how short he is. We're talking about whether or not he don't want to get no job, whether he want to play PlayStation all day, whether or not she want to be a housewife and start not in a relationship. That's the stuff that we're talking about. So with that being said, some red flags that's going to stop you uncompromising, I would have to say that will be number one, sir.
Yeah, man.
That will have to be in a relationship, because and this is the thing. This what we don't watch for. Once we have sex, how does that change? How does that change our relationship? Because normally, if people start changing in the relationship, then you're doomed. You can't start compromising after sex and think it's gonna stop.
Yeah,
you compromising some things that you really want me to be and do because you want me to marry you.
But I told you what sex do. Let me get a feel. Feel says that's where I went wrong. It was his way or the highway.
Once you had sex,
uncompromising.
Once you
didn't say
that. Phil, did you have some sex? Don't you lie, Phil. Phil, you tell me you had some sex.
Ben said, "Good evening. What's going on,
What's going on, man?"
But red flags like behaviors, financial behaviors, emotional, available behaviors.
Yeah.
These are things you got to watch out for, because you get stuck. And like you said, we hop in that bed and go back to my little analogy. Sex is like a glue. It's like a super glue, right? And if it's that ooh-wee, it's that gorilla glue. So whenever something you're trying to glue something together, if you don't set it properly before you glue it,
boy, you
got to break it
to reset it.
And a lot of people, they're setting it. They're gluing it before it's set. And
that thing is crooked. You got to hit you and you get it up.
It's all kinds. Ain't nothing lining up.
And they trying to figure out. And see, let me say this: the most worrisome part about giving advice with relationships is what we're talking about tonight.
Oh yeah.
When to say? Yeah. When do you use the D word? Ooh. When do you use the separation words? Because we have done it wrong on the front end. So now we on her, and we don't want to tell you to get a divorce. We want to tell you do everything you can to keep that relationship together. But because you have been negligent on the front end, now you tuning in to us to see what you're supposed to do about it.
Yeah. Well, it looked like Phil did have some sex.
Phil had some sex.
She said I had a baby by him.
Oh,
so yes, LOL. She had some sex.
And he dropped something off. Keep that take that with you.
Yeah, the gift to keep on giving.
Well, right? What you talking? Wow. I don't really know what to say.
But it's like, how do you avoid getting stuck before marriage? You're getting stuck in relationships, because you can get stuck in relationships. Mm-hmm. Well, I tell people it's not a good idea to send out engagement announcements, invitations. Do not send that out before you actually had some rigorous marriage counseling. Yes, I know it's gonna spoil it because you don't want to know when he gonna propose, right? That whole
not only that, but you got to remember when I start sleeping with this woman, and vice versa, she starts sleeping with me. She's not going to press me to go to marriage counseling because she don't want nobody to come in and mess this up.
Right.
I got to get him to the altar, and all roadblocks in front. Y'all trying to stop me from being married.
Yeah. No.
So
Pastor gonna say stop that sex. That's what Pastor gonna say. Pastor gonna say cut out the sex.
Yes. Yeah, and we don't want to do that. And we don't want to do that.
Monique says, "Yep, I agree, and I'll add the flags don't change." Sophia said, "LOL," but we not together now, so we're good. I learned some harsh lessons.
Yeah, but if Sophia said they're not together now.
No, she said she learned some lessons though. She got an education.
Well, sometimes, well, the crazy thing about it, most of the time, if somebody had told Ophelia, "Hey, girl, don't do this," there's a pretty good chance she would have said, "No, not gonna happen to me."
Did you get any warning, Ophelia? Did anybody warn you about the person? I want to just let us know, yes or no. Did anybody warn you?
I'm learning. People say to hell with the warnings.
Yeah.
I'm learning people want what they want. And the crazy thing about when you want what you want, when you get it, it's never what you think it is.
But is it about the person, or is it about just the whole persona and the whole idea of what you want?
It's about the person. At this point, I'm gonna say it's about the person. And the reason why I'm saying about the person, because oftentimes the person comes back and they're not happy. Mm-hmm. When they've got what they wanted, and it's not, whoa, this is not what I thought it would be. It's funny. I had a car that I wanted all my life. I get the car and it's just a car. It don't fly. It don't do none of the thing. It don't drive in the driveway by itself. It don't do none of that. It's just a car.
Yeah.
And I think that's what we do to relationships. I think it's just a relationship. Oh, he don't do this like I think he's supposed to do. She don't do that. She don't cook. She don't clean. I thought once we got married, the switch was supposed to flip, and she was just automatically supposed to do what wives do. Or he was supposed to do what husbands do. What the hell is that? What the hell switch go? What the hell switch comes and make people do what they're supposed to do? Because people just don't do it. If people did what they're supposed to do, we wouldn't need stop signs or red lights.
Boy, you better tell somebody.
We would just stop and go and be nice and courteous. But that's why we got police officers giving out tickets, because people don't do what they're supposed to do. And then we come back and say, I don't understand why this thing is not working like it's supposed to. Because that thing was tore up at the beginning.
No. That ain't what people do. They don't say, I don't understand. This thing ain't working. They say, this person is doing something
There you go. And I'm not happy about it.
And I'm not happy about it.
Monique
says, I think it's about the idea. At a certain age, people start to look at marriage and family as the next step, especially when you've been together a minute. She got a point, and I think this is a setup that people have. Typically, when you take a next step, you want to have gotten the first step right.
Okay. Can I jump on this?
Just jump on in, brother. Because
you have been screwing for 6 months to a year, don't necessarily mean that you're ready for the next step. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this. Perhaps if you stopped, you might find out whether or not that person is ready to be your husband or your wife. Playing like you married and having sex don't make you ready for marriage.
Right.
It avoids you of the responsibility of actually being in the house, sharing things, having to get along with each other. Right. Because you can get up out of that sex bed and go y'all separate ways. Now listen, I'm all for some sex. I'm all for some sex. I had some sex last night. I just want y'all to know. I know, right? I know, right? Hey, it wasn't by choice. I was just by force. So I ain't ever saying it. She like, get in there if we can have sex. Okay, I'm coming. But anyway, I'm saying this to say, because you acting like married couples doesn't qualify you to be ready for marriage.
Right.
And I think we misconstrue that. That don't make you ready.
Yeah.
That don't make him ready. That don't make you ready. Yeah. Marriage is marriage for a reason.
Yeah. Man, I remember my mom didn't let me walk around till I had a girlfriend and all that stuff. And my mom didn't play that. No. She did not play that. I could in high school. I better not say I got a girlfriend. You don't do no girlfriend.
Oh, I know what to do with it.
Let me say, my lips would still be swollen. Mama didn't play that. But no, man.
And I think, like Monique said, going to the next level. I think once we've had enough sex, then it goes to now we're ready to take the next level. What's wrong?
Janae Lewis. I'll let y'all guess who this is. Janae Lewis says, you.
Oh boy. Of all the shows my baby listened to.
That is funny.
Yeah, but that don't qualify you. That don't qualify you for marriage because y'all having sex. And we think we've been having sex for a little while. The next step is marriage. No. You need to pull that back some. Yeah. Because that don't qualify you.
You're absolutely right. Having sex just makes you biologically a male and female. That's all it does. That's all sex does. Being a man or a husband, being a woman or a wife involves way more than that.
And it lies to you. It makes you think you're gonna have a lot more sex when you get married than you actually gonna be having.
Right.
I'm trying to listen, because by the time the kids come, the wife, work, and everything else, man, believe me, she's gonna be tired. She's gonna be something. Well, the sex ain't gonna come half as much as it's gonna come before y'all get married. I'm just telling you now. So when you get married, now the complaint is we don't have sex. We don't have time for intimacy no more. Because it was a lie at the beginning. Stop lying to each other and keep y'all pants up.
Right. And go to work.
Yes.
You can't have all the sex if you working. But listen, what qualifies you for marriage? What qualifies people for marriage?
Well, first of all, you got to have a job. You need to be able to support your family. I think him and her should be working.
Okay.
Him and her should be well on their way to their careers or whatever they're going to do.
Right.
Whatever they want to do. Also, they have to. This is really important, guys. Y'all got to be able to talk to each other. Yeah. They'll have to be able to communicate without talking at each other. And this, to me, the biggest thing, man, you got to be able to hear her heart. Man, me and my wife have been married for too long, since ancient Bible days, it seemed like. and oftentimes in our arguments, I have to listen to her fussing to get to see what her heart is saying. But key word, I said, I have to try to listen to what her heart is saying. I have to want to, first of all.
Right.
I have to want to, because we talked about this earlier. Did we talk about not fussing, but nagging?
Yeah, we talked about that. Yeah.
So what is the definition What is okay? What is our
producer's gonna ring his neck in a minute.
I'm not used to nobody talking to me. I can't talk back to him.
Tasha said, "Did John just turn red when your baby jumped out here?"
It's relationships are tough enough without us making them more difficult. Relationships are really tough, guys. Really tough.
Yeah,
really tough.
You want to make sure that the person has skills that will allow them you all to get along. They know how to express themselves in a healthy manner. They know how to listen. And I mean actively listen. These are skills. And like John said, knowing how to hear your spouse's heart. Listen, women nag.
They can't help it.
Women nag.
They can't help it. They got a nag gene.
They got a nag gene. Women nag. Excuse me. Women nag. Men pout. That's what we do. Men pout. We'll still do what you asked us to do, but you're gonna sense all that attitude coming through whatever we doing.
And women take what they say and they beat you over the head with it until they get their way or get what they've been wanting. Right. They've been trying to get you to get in your yes. I gotta do whatever I gotta do to wear them down. But the problem with that is now that's where the communication normally stops at.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. Once the nagging starts and the pouting starts, now the communication is stopped because I'm not listening anymore. We can't be so concerned about winning every battle that we lose the wars.
Right.
The wars are ultimately I want him to hear my heart and what I'm saying because it's going to be better for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we get away from that because we are either nagging or we're pouting.
Right.
So what are we doing? What are we doing in relationship? And you know what's funny to me? I thought it was funny that more relationships are here than I thought. I thought there would be happiness, but more people are trying to find ways to get out of them, which is crazy.
Yeah. Afia say that's a fact. My married friend is going through that now with her husband. So a person is in a place they feel stuck, especially we talking about marriage. They feel stuck. What should they do?
I think before you do anything, you got to have the talk. Now, so I was thinking about this earlier today, and I think the talk is you have to address the elephant in the room that was there before we got here. Mm-hmm. Now, when we started dating, I noticed that you X, Y, and Z. I was thinking after we got married, it would turn into ABC.
Right.
Did I overlook something? Is that not who you are? Is that because this time you gotta have a come to Jesus meeting because we gotta figure out what we gonna do.
Right. Yeah.
I heard Chris Rock say this, and it was such an easy parable. It's much easier for two people to move a couch than one person. He was not lying. Yep. He was not lying. Especially the couches they make today. They got the 5 chairs with them. You can't move them by yourself.
Right. Okay.
You got to have one person with you to do it. So with that being said, you got to have the conversation. You got to have the conversation of what we're doing.
All right. Latarsha says, I think you got to have a mature mindset, have gone through some stuff. Just because they have a job don't qualify them for marriage. No, just having a job don't qualify them, but it put a little more sting on the argument when you
when you're working,
when you
ain't staying with your mama now.
When you ain't sitting at home all day, especially the other person.
Yes, exactly.
Come home from a job and they see you on the couch. Yeah, that's bad business right there.
Yeah, you're right.
That's bad business. The uncompromisingness. Oh, Tarsha says, yes, we pout and have attitudes, but we got to know when to stop and sit down. Y'all pout after we don't give y'all what y'all nagged about.
Yeah. I think we need to take the sit down part and highlight that. We need to highlight the sit down. Right. Sit down somewhere and hush up. I'm kidding. but she is absolutely right. We have to know when we're doing too much.
Right. Afia says, what is the definition of nagging? She said, find out next week. Stay tuned. Find out next week. Stay tuned. We're going to get more into some of these qualities and some of these things that keep people, just keep up stuff in marriages, mess in marriages that make people feel stuck. Because there's a certain thing about nagging that people have to realize. And men have to realize, women have to realize. But we'll get into that next week. So, absolutely. Monique says, I would say the conversation has to happen early before it festers. I think for conversations, when things are good, we are afraid that having the conversation is going to mess up the good time.
Boy, you better say that. And listen, because if we just be honest, when we get something that we think might be really good for us, man, we are so ginger with that thing because we don't want to mess it up. If we got a guy that's halfway decent or a girl that's really fine and pretty and look like she may be from somewhere else, she might be exotica or something. Oh my goodness! We tipping around and we lying about it because we don't want to lose it.
Right.
So we get married and we drag that into our marriage and we miserable because you're not none of what I thought this was gonna be like, and you're not either.
Right. You stink sometimes.
And the exotica don't really work like I thought it was gonna work. I thought you're gonna be speaking French and stuff in there. You ain't doing none of that.
You learn some slang and everything. That's how you hear me.
You sound just like I do that. Yeah, so I just think I think the conversation, like Monique said, the conversation is important early, but I just think for the most part, you got to. That's the conversation that needs to be had. That's the one that mostly needs to be had. Is the real.
We got to start working with people individually as singles with preparing them for conversations like this. You know what I'm saying? Get a good group of friends that you can have these types of conversations. Because your friends, you should have friends who can, check you. Say, you know what, you tripping.
Yes, it's true.
And you know how to receive it. And now you talking about bringing somebody else in. Listen, your friends know if you're a difficult person. They know that.
Well, and not only that, but now you into a relationship now you into what if they're not who you think they are and y'all married? Or what happens when you marry when the person's not who you think they are and you married to them? What do you do then?
Try to change them, right?
That's naturally what we do. That's the first thing. That is the first thing we're gonna do. We're gonna throw money at you. We're gonna try to convince you. We're gonna beat you over your head. We're gonna send you to church. We're gonna try to do all these things to make you try to become who I want you to be.
Lock up the cookie,
boy. We're gonna. Boy, did I not say that? Because that's the first thing she gonna do. That's the first thing they're gonna do because we have to try to find a way to control you to get you to be who we want you to be.
Right. Because relationships are funny. I tell people, in the absence of trust, you must control. Anytime you're in a relationship with somebody and you have to deal with this person, or you have to work with this person, if there is no trust, there will be control issues because that's the only way I can interact with you. I got to be able to know that what I want is going to happen. And the only way I can't trust you to make sure that happens. So I got to control everything to make sure I get what I want.
The crazy thing is, man, this control thing seems to be coming up a lot more and more in my life. With a lot of the different things that I'm dealing with. Control comes up like because people are not comfortable. People don't trust God like they're supposed to because they want to be in control. Right. And God is the anti-control person. Right. But in relationships, man, anytime you feel like you have to control something, you off to a bad start because people do not do what you want them to do, especially if they understand the type of control person that you are. People fight control. People, nobody wants to be controlled. People, oh my God, we fight. People fight rules, and control is a form of rules, and people fight that. Yeah. And you can expect to get that fight.
And the thing that people miss is it's your conformity to rules that gives you the freedom that you're really looking for. You can't have freedom devoid of rules. You can't. It does not work that way. Most people don't want any rules at all. That's not freedom. That's anarchy.
True.
When you don't want any rules at all, that's anarchy. Rules are necessary. And it's the people who abide by the rules, the people who, set their life up by the rules. These are the ones that experience the happiness, the joy, the prosperity, the success that everybody else say they want. Now, we say we want good marriages. We say we want, to be with people, but we will not do the things that's necessary to make sure
that happens.
Anytime I've seen people, marriages where the D word has come up or even happened, it's because at least one person dug their heels in the ground and refused to make the changes necessary.
That's true. Because again, marriage is about compromise. And when the person stops saying, when the person says, I'm not willing to compromise, then y'all can get the papers together.
Right. And some people say they not willing to compromise because they're trying to force the end. Which lets you know where they are anyway.
So with that being said, should that, and I said that, and I might have said that looser than what I wanted to, but when compromise stop, is that when the end of the marriage is near? Because the relationship is based on compromise. It's based that is because we can say it's love, but it ain't love. It's compromise.
Yeah, man. I think most marriages are not real marriages. Yes, people made the commitment. They had the wedding. They stood before the pastor and said, "I do," but they were just a divorce waiting to happen because they never checked out marriage to see if this is something I'm willing to take on. I think there's an expectation to be married, especially by a certain time. And we don't put emphasis on the preparation.
What's crazy to me is we don't look at people's parents. We don't see how the parents get down. Because one of the things I was always scared of is I was gonna go over my girlfriend's house and her mom and dad was gonna be in there fighting. Because if they in the house fighting and acting the fool and carry on, that's what she gonna bring back to the house with me.
Yeah, man.
So it's important that when we dating, we pay attention to where they're coming from, because that's gonna be how they deal with stuff with you.
Yeah.
And we see that stuff and we just ignore it and say, oh no, I'm gonna be such a loving wife or husband that's not gonna come to my house. I don't know what you think this is. I don't know why you think that ain't coming to your house. If it's in his house, it's coming to yours.
Yeah. I remember my ex-girlfriend from college, man. My ex-girlfriend from college, I would go visit her, and her parents, they would fight.
They be fighting for real.
They would fight. I mean, let's get it on.
Furniture moving.
Bruh. They would fight. And when they would start fighting, brother, I grabbed me a corner. You ain't heard me. I might as well be in furniture at that point. I don't want to catch no peripheral, no collateral. No, I don't want to catch none of that.
So, but with that, how did it make you think about her?
Well, that became how she would try to deal with me. Listen, I grew up in the house with my mom and my sisters. Wasn't no man fight my mama. It wasn't all that stuff going on. We didn't have those type of interactions in my house. So I was supremely uncomfortable, severely uncomfortable with that whole situation. But that became how she tried to deal with me. And I'm like, no. That ain't what we doing.
Try to put them hands on you. Try to put them hands on you there.
Yeah. Monique says, great point, John. We definitely ignored the family flag.
Oh my God.
We think our mate is so different. Most folks are not wanting to be held accountable. And see, it's accountability is not something that you like. True. It's something that you recognize is necessary.
Yes, it's true. It's true.
You need that feedback because you can't see yourself like other people see you. Mm-hmm. It's like you go to the gym, you work out, and you killing it. but you don't see the growth, you don't see the gains, and you don't recognize it until somebody sees you and says, what are you doing? Oh my goodness, you look, and
they say, you ain't gonna work on legs though. Cause we would swell up a chest. Well, we would walk around looking like this, and them legs be looking like some pencils.
Right. Because they keep pants on. They don't care. Mika says, in the absence of trust, you must control. Y'all are preaching tonight. Control is a big thing in a relationship, but a lot of people say it's boundaries. Huge difference.
Well, most people don't feel comfortable unless they can control things. Most, and I've noticed that I'm running into a lot more women that are control freaks than there are men, which makes me wonder how. So the husband has to conform to that, and the minute that you don't, you will have issues. You will have really strong issues. Now, most of the time when we've been in a little while, I'm tired of fighting with you, and I'm gonna just do it to keep the peace. Right. But these younger guys, good luck. Because these young guys they're not for it. They're not trying to conform. They're not trying to do nothing. They'd rather be out there single. So I'm really trying to figure out, what are you guys going to have to do for all these control people? Because nobody's a control person, but all these control people out here, what are you going to do when the guy can't be controlled? Oh, I know, I'm going to marry him.
Oh.
And try to control him.
Oh.
Good luck with that.
Oh, no. Oh, let me get Monique. Monique says, yes, you can't make nobody stay with you. Cheryl says, when there are no standards or low standards, there is going to be instability in the relationships. Absolutely right. When you can't control somebody, the thing that people do when they can't control you, man, I lost my train of thought. I messed up.
Okay, I got a good one. When my wife first got married, I used to act a fool. My wife's biggest thing was, she was just like most of you guys. If I can just get him to the altar in the church somewhere, he'll change. Oh, I was a good heathen. You hear me? I was a good old heathen. And I remember one day I was at home. I'd been out all night and came home, and I was laying in the bed, and she was up crying, which she used to do all the time when we got married. And she started praying. Never forget, she started praying and speaking in tongues around the bed. And I was trying to sleep. I was tired. Oh, wow. I had been kicking it, and I was inebriated. And she started speaking in tongues, walking around the bed, and I couldn't go to sleep. She was so I'm not giving up. Listen, I've got myself into something that I can't handle. Yeah. So I know what I have to do, brother. She said God on me, brother. You keep throwing that water on me every now and then, it's gonna get on you. Every now and then it's gonna get on you.
That's what I was going to say. That's it. When women feel like they can't control a man, they try to get him to church.
Oh, brother. By hook or crook.
Listen.
By hook or crook.
Women, listen, we did a poll. Jesus is not high on women priority list.
Sex was. Yes. Long as I can beat your back out.
But here's the thing, women interest for Jesus is all because I just need somebody to keep him in line.
I need somebody, because this Negro is a fool.
That's why they want some Jesus, because they want to be able to see Jesus. He ain't acting right.
Yes, exactly.
That's what they want. Absolutely. Monique says, can y'all touch on accountability versus judgment? Accountability versus judgment.
Okay, so what we have with our group is, we have y'all seen on episode 9, y'all need to go back, check it out, a group of a couple of forevers. And what we do is we hold each other accountable without judging. And how you do that is, okay, first of all, you got to know my heart. You got to know my heart when I come to you and I say, hey, D, this is what I think, or I don't agree with this, or I think that. Hey, man, because you know that I love you and I want the best for you. So, when I come to you, I'm not judging you. So there has to be a personal interest at stake. I know if D does well, I do well. I know if my group does well, I do well. Mm-hmm. And I care, and I genuinely have a care, and I love them. There has to, you have to be just as invested as they are.
Right.
Because generally when people don't know you or when it's churchy, they judge you. That's not, and that's the last thing I do with my brothers and sisters.
Rules without relationship breeds rebellion.
There you go. Relationship. See, that's the word.
You got to have a relationship with people. If there's going to be accountability, there has to be a relationship first. Now, the point of accountability isn't something the person is holding you accountable for based on what they want out of you. The accountability is based on something you said you wanted, and them holding you accountable to what you said.
Yes.
Now, judgment comes in when they say you ain't no good, you trifling,
helpful.
That's what judgment come in. Oh, you just lazy. That's why you won't do what you supposed to do, because you just late. That's judgment.
Yeah.
But saying, hey, remember I mentioned to you the other day about this thing? Hey, anything came up yet?
One of the things we don't talk about in marriage is you are only as good as the people, as the company that you keep with marriage. You're only as good as the village. And we have a village around our marriage, and we have a village around our friends, and we go to and we have wise counsel. Because listen, I was a knucklehead, but by the grace of God, I turn from my evil ways. Everybody don't do that. Everybody don't do that. So you got to have people in your life that can speak into your life and say, hey man, boy, if you don't sit down somewhere, girl, if you don't sit down somewhere, if you don't be quiet and go in there and do this or do that, you got to have people in your lives for that. Because if not, you're on that island by yourself trying to figure this marriage thing out. And marriage is difficult, even when you know what to do.
Boy, Cheryl says, you trust the person that holds you accountable. Now, let me tell you what happens with accountability. When you're holding a person you're in relationship with, when you're holding them accountable, they pull the judgment card when the accountability gets too heavy that they don't want to really carry it. It's a technique to back you down. Don't be judging me. They pull the judgment card at that time. They don't want you telling them or reminding them, because it's really what you're doing, reminding them of where they're dropping the ball, where they're slacking, where they're slipping. And so they will pull out the judgment card. Listen, when people start deflecting with some type of attack on you, that's because there's a serious issue with them. Maybe they starting to give up hope that they can even achieve what you holding them accountable for, or something like that. So they need some encouragement, and maybe you need to know as a friend, okay, I need to back down and just ask, hey, what's going on with you?
One of the things when I had my little heart attack thing, well, I can keep saying little. When I had my heart attack, man, and it's funny because all of my friends, the people in the group were like, John, and they were watching everything I did, and they were saying it would irritate me to no end. But because I saw their face, they were the first ones to run to my bed, to my bedside when I was in the hospital. I can't be mad at them for being concerned and worried about me. I can't be mad when they say, hey, you think you're gonna eat all that free range chicken? Well, I was gonna try. I can't be mad at them. Right. Does it irritate me sometimes? Absolutely it does. Yeah. But I know where their heart is in it.
Yeah. It's hard to love somebody without being held them accountable. Anthony says, when you don't conform, you're a post on Facebook saying that you're not a man and can't handle a strong woman. Whoa.
Well, how much time we got? Well, because I feel some kind of way about the strong woman thing. Because I believe every man can handle a strong woman, but do you want to be handled the way we're gonna handle you though? I think every woman is fragile and she's beautiful and she needs to be handled like a gentle rose. Unless she a thorn in the rose and she stick you, then you choke out. But no, seriously.
Every rose has its thorn. No.
Well, you were trying to say no, seriously though. I think a woman should be treated like a queen. Just like I think he needs to be treated like a king. And I think when you start talking about handling each other, I think we're getting into something then that we don't want or we don't need. Because the first time you walk up with shades on, now we're gonna be ready to do something to him when you don't carry yourself like that.
Okay. So how long do I treat them like what they're not acting like? How long do I keep that up? Because I'm doing it in hopes that they'll get it. But how long do I keep that up? I'm treating them like a queen, but their behavior there's nothing about their behavior that says queen.
Until you can't do it no more. Until you,
as soon as you can't do it no more,
they want to change. Here they come.
Not that they want to change. Now you gonna get called out.
Well, sometimes you're gonna get called out. Sometimes but listen, everybody has. I saw this. Ayala Van Zam had a thing on the other day, and she said she was telling this young girl. She said, "I was with a guy 20 years, and I left him alone because he couldn't love me the way that I needed to be loved." And I was thinking, 20 years is a long time to give somebody a chance to love you the way you want to be loved. But I don't want to be the person that condones divorce, man, because I just think we. If we took it more serious on the front end, we wouldn't be so many divorces on the back end. But divorces are a way of life. But I'm gonna say this: if that person if that man or woman has no act right or no want to get right, I think it needs to be talked about.
Right. And you have got to, in the midst of all this, take a hard look at yourself.
Yes.
You have got to take it. As long as it's about the other person, there is a level of deflection that will never bring resolution to this problem. It never bring resolution because you know how to act a fool. You know you can go there. You know this person has had to deal with some stuff, but you just assuming that they supposed to because they your husband or they your wife or they y'all married. They supposed to. Ain't nobody supposed to put up with foolishness. Now people will do it out of love, but perhaps you taking into account that this person has made a commitment and they're serious about commitment, and you use their commitment against them as your opportunity to slack off and not do what you're supposed to do. That is abuse.
Perhaps a separation, perhaps before the divorce, because I couldn't imagine being in a house that my wife wasn't in. And if that normally we have to be we have to be shaken and we have to be woken up from sleeps that we be in a lot of times.
Right.
I'm just trying to throw things out before we actually get into the D word.
Yeah. Because
man, that's next week's show. It's the D word. Once we get to the D word, then what happens?
Right.
Because there has to be something, because most of the time we sleepwalk through things.
Right.
And I just think when you use something that'll wake you up.
Like Tamia said, there's a stranger in my house, but he says, who is the stranger though? Is it him or is it me? You got to be able to take a hard look at yourself too, and see, do you bear any responsibility?
But it has to be somebody else's fault though. This thing ain't working like I thought it was. It has to be some. Okay. So I made some mistakes. I looked over some red flags. Should I have to suffer if they ain't trying to do right? What needs to happen? Because this ain't what I thought it was gonna be. Man, it ain't no bliss. I'm looking at my friends and her husband act right, and her husband act right, and my friends. I'm tired of suffering.
Right.
What? Tell me what I need to do.
Bruh, it's a whole lot. It's a whole lot to all of this. So what do you do? How do you navigate these waters? How do you manage this? What is it that you're doing to try to make sure you manage this? Afia says, how long have you guys not spoken to your spouse after an argument? What's the longest I've gone? Maybe a week.
No, sure not gonna let me go that long. She's not gonna let me go that long. I'm one person. I can get real quiet just naturally. I can get quiet and just not say nothing. I don't have to talk really much at all. But maybe a day or so, I guess. Maybe a day or so. It's not. She won't let me go too long.
Now, not talking didn't mean we weren't interacting. Just we still be eating. I'm just not saying it's not like we shut each other out.
Well, you know, it's actually funny because when we're not talking, we doing stuff to make each other laugh, you know, to try to make each other laugh out of it.
Right.
And she be like, I don't want to laugh because I'm mad at you. you play too much, I'm mad at you, and vice versa. So we so silly to where, because the enemy don't need a lot. The enemy don't need a lot of room, guys. He just need a little bit. He just need a little stubbornness from you to say, I'm not gonna talk to him, or I'm not gonna talk to her, and I'm certainly not gonna give him none. He just need a little bit from you to turn that little bitty thing into a great big old thing. So yeah, but I never had thought about that. It's funny. I never thought about how long I hadn't talked when we got mad when we were fussing, because she always fussing at me for something. Some kids stay in trouble. Some people stay in trouble. I'm just one of the ones that kind of stay in trouble.
Cheryl say less than an hour.
Yeah. Okay.
Less than an hour. Yeah. It's typically people in fights. What you want to eat?
Yeah. Because hungry will break you back. Bro, I can't fight on an empty stomach. I can't fight on it, so I gotta be eating something.
Nothing reconcile you like a meal.
Man, what you talking about, man? What you talking about? So we at where we at? How much time? Well,
man, it's that time, brother.
So we final thoughts?
Yep.
All right. So my final thought for this evening is I guess we got right up to the question and didn't really answer whether or not we condone divorce or not. And I don't at all. I don't condone divorce, but I do understand there are circumstances and things that happen sometimes to where divorce is the best thing for everybody. But I do suggest that you exhaust all avenues before that happens. Like I said earlier, man, having those conversations, because the worst thing about divorce is you don't got used to being with somebody. Now you by yourself. And man, that is so that I don't wish by yourself on nobody. I don't wish that on nobody, because boy, if Jesus been trying to get to you, he can get to you when you're by yourself. Everybody gets saved when they by themselves. Everybody. Oh, now your Bible told you. Everybody know Jesus when they by themselves. And listen, guys, exhaust all avenues, counseling. But again, it takes two to tango. Make sure that your partner is in agreement with you as far as saving the marriage. Saving it. You got to make sure that everybody's fighting for the same thing in the same direction. And before I get to my final thought, y'all get them divorces out there. Y'all fight for the marriages. Keep their marriages together. Both of y'all some fools. That's my final thought.
Listen, people don't take enough personal responsibility. I remember this quote I heard once. This guy said the fountain of content must spring up in the mind, and he who seeks to change by changing anything but his disposition will waste his life in fruitless efforts and multiply the pain he wants to remove. It's really about contentment. Contentment doesn't mean that you're satisfied, but it means that you understand where you are and what you need to move forward, and you're not frustrated about it. There's not enough people that are content. Contentment is a skill, but it starts with you. Now, if you're in a situation where you're applying contentment, but there are still issues that are happening, now there's some communication that needs to happen. Listen, people are dynamic. People go through things in marriage individually and together. And if that person is going through something personal, it's going to affect all of y'all. It's going to affect both of you all. You can't get a different meal until you change the ingredients. If you're going in with the same ingredients, you're going to get the same outcome. So somebody has to change, or something has to change. It takes a leader. It takes somebody who's brave enough to say, you know what? I'm not going to be that person anymore. To go ahead and make the change. People can make it. People can survive. But it doesn't come unless people decide to change. But what it's going to take for that? That's something you got to figure out. And that's my final thoughts for this week.
Man, it just made me think about this poem that said, knick-knack, paddywhack.
Give a dog a bone.
No, man. I'm serious. All seriousness, man.
Yeah.
Your marriage should be worth fighting for. And I know most of us feel like, but I'm tired now. I'm tired of fighting. I'm sure you got to look. Hey, fight for it like you was fighting trying to get him to the altar.
Oh.
That's how hard you should be fighting for to keep that marriage together. Because that's why everybody don't have great marriages. Because you got to work too hard at them.
And if you're a wife and you want to keep your man close to God, it's not about dragging him to church. It's about how you serve him. That's where it comes.
Wow, you were hitting them today.
Just trying to be real. Listen, make sure you subscribe to our podcast.
Yes, please.
We're available on Apple, Google, Spotify.
We tour.
All those different podcasts. You catch the audio version. Make sure you go and catch it. Share it with your friends. If you like what we're doing, make sure you share it out. Let people know.
We'll come to your church.
About Man Talk Monday. Yeah, we will come.
We're traveling. Listen, as you see us setting up everywhere. We want to come up, set up near a place near you.
Right.
Y'all call us, get your money together, get your Skrilla together, and y'all call us, and we can come to y'all church or event or something, man. We're trying to move this thing.
We can have some serious conversation.
Absolutely.
So be looking out for us. Listen, continuously trying to bring y'all better content. Make sure you go to the email, mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. Give us your feedback. Let us know what you think about the show, what you like, what you don't like, what we're doing well, what we could do something be better at. So let us know. It helps us out so we can be that much better for you guys. So thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. We appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all next week. Peace out.
Y'all be blessed. You talk about me, I'm gonna cut you out. Oh, that's fine.